Hello and welcome. We have an absolutely fantastic video for you today. A double feature, in fact. First, let's get to a couple of packages. The first one is pretty simple, but incredibly impactful. This is a 500 gigabyte NVMe SSD for that kid's Christmas computer. This was sent by, and unfortunately their name wasn't on the package because they ordered it from Amazon directly to my P.O. box. This was from John Hudson, 7055 on YouTube. Thank you so much. You are absolutely insane. Now, this package is from, it's upside down, David. It's upside down because I don't want to dox anybody. David, thank you very much. These, if I recall correctly, based on the YouTube comments, are gaming peripherals, which is something we really wanted to give that kid as well. So let's have a look. I already see some headphones. These are Ames IA Hebe Virtual 7.1 M1 RGB headphones. I have never heard of these, but they look really cool, and I'm sure the kid's going to absolutely love those, because right now he's using Walmart headphones. I see a very well-packaged box, honestly. Very well-packaged. We've got a Corsair gaming keyboard. This is fantastic. I think that this is mechanical. Oh, this is this is sick. It's got some, I don't know if these are original keycaps on the side here, but this is absolutely fantastic. And I have a sneaking suspicion that this is RGB as well. It's even got a very nice cable strain relief there. Yes, this has got to be RGB. It's got two two USB connections. So we'll set that here for a moment. Oddly enough, there's also a Logitech wireless mouse and keyboard. I think that we're going to use this for the channel because the kid already has, well, that's going to go to the kid. I'm not the type of person to start, hoarding the best stuff for myself when people send it in for this project. So this will be useful for the channel. Now let's set this aside without doxing you. Now let's see what's in this bag as well. We have a PNY 1TB SATA SSD. This is also really cool. And a 250 gig SSD. And a Oracle, I've heard of them before, 128 gig SSD. So the 128 and the 250, I think we're going to keep for other donation builds. In fact, we might have a use for these in just a moment. But the 1TB is going to go to the kid. We'll have a 500 gig NVMe boot drive and a 1TB drive for storage. That should be plenty, honestly. Then again, games are huge these days. Oh dear. I keep forgetting. Oh god, games are so big these days. But this still should be more than enough for the bare minimum for his build. Speaking of, we finally have just enough parts to get the build started. So let's go ahead and throw it all together, see what we have, see what we still need, and I will let you know what I have purchased in the background so we can together figure out what the best route forward is in making that computer a reality. Now what we are starting with today, we have already addressed in past videos, and I've got my scissors again, I cannot be stopped. We have an ASRock B760 motherboard that I picked up with my own money. We have this Core i5 12400 that was donated to the channel by Hefty Lefty. Seriously, thank you. That is humongous for this build. We have this, well, we have this Assassin X 120. I'm not going to read the whole thing. It's a cooler. It's a very cool cooler that was also donated to the channel. In fact, let's go ahead and pop that open right now. We'll get our first look. This is a good looking cooler, actually. There we go. And of course, this excellent Musatex case. Very fancy. A very, very pretty case. A little dusty now that it's been in my office during all of these cleanings recently. But it's still wicked cool. I keep forgetting that there's slight damage to the case. We'll have to try and fix that later. In fact, I bet I can just... Fixed. Metal tab near the top was bent up. So, let's go ahead and get this installed. Oh yes, that's right, the RAM. This was borrowed RAM simply for testing. I need to return that actually. Oh goodness, it's getting to that time where I really got to send that back. Because I have my own RAM now. If I can find it. Uh-oh. Well, I can't seem to find it, so we're putting this stuff back in. I must have left it back up in my apartment. But, you know, it happens. Not only did I pick up 16 gigs of my own RAM, but I actually picked up extra. We have 32 of the slowest possible DDR5 on the way. Where's this? Not one to lay flat. Oh, because of that. We're going to set this case off to the side just for a moment. And we'll go ahead and get the cooler attached to that. I think I'm going to take this coat off. It's catching on everything. Okay, let's see if I can figure out this cooler. We are going to take the peel off. That is a sick cooler. Very nice. So this is a direct contact cooler. These are usually pretty easy to figure out. Of course, I do have the instructions right nearby. Now, what are the settings? 1700. Oh, I see. So that should be 1700. Let's verify. Yes. Perfect. I don't see a need to use the adhesive on the back there. It's going to stay put perfectly fine. So, let's see here. This will go like that, obviously. I think I do need the instructions. Mostly because I don't know which standoff to use. AM5, 1200, 1700. Here we go. That's in Chinese. Here we go. Back plate, yep. Install brackets with screws. Well, it doesn't tell me which ones to use, so... Oh, it's written on the package. I am very intelligent. You know what? That's okay, because I've got scissors. Perfect. Install brackets with screws. It doesn't say in the instructions which ones to use, which screw position. So we're going to assume it's the wider ones. Yes. Okay. Now I have that upside down, but I actually want the cooler to face this way. So I have to take it off anyway. We'll go ahead and grab our Phillips real quick and get that secure. Now you don't have to absolutely crank down on these. Just snug is what you want. And same for the other side. Okay. Next comes the cooler itself, which means it's time to apply some thermal paste. That ought to be more than enough. Not used to having new parts. Okay. So we have... This connects to USB. Okay. Okay, that's not a whole lot of headers. And for our fan, that is a lot of cables. What the... Okay, I see what's going on here. So for the power cable, the cable that actually powers the fan, jeez, there we go. You can daisy chain it. This goes into the CPU fan header, and then you have another one if you have a second fan. Now this must be RGB with a pass-through, it looks like. I've never used RGB before, so we're going to have to check that out. Now we've got our fan clips here. I think I want it oriented like that. This is one thing I am familiar with. A lot of systems use something like that. Fan installed. It's a good looking fan. I have to do something about this cable management, obviously. Now about this RGB. How the hell? Okay. Oh. Came with some thermal paste. I can use that later. Where were we? Yes. Let's get this SSD installed real quick. Oh, this kid's gonna love this PC. And to all of you watching, I appreciate you. Every single one of you for helping me make this happen. I couldn't do this on my own. So this... I don't have an M.2 screw. I might have some nearby that I can steal from something else. Where's that AM4 board? So here's that AM4 board that doesn't work yet. That looks like it's too big. That's different. Okay. Shoot. Well, you know, we do have this. Maybe that'll work. It's worth a shot. It's a non-ferrous screw. Of course it's a non-ferrous screw. Why would they not be using a non-ferrous screw? Oh my god. There we go. Why would they use a non-ferrous screw? I think that... Okay. I think we got it. Technically too long, but SSD's in place. That sucks. Oh boy, now I gotta find an SSD screw for this. But you know what? We'll figure it out. We'll deal with that some other time. I can probably order a bunch on eBay. Now, I suppose we should make sure that it does, in fact, still work. Which means I need a graphics card that has VGA on it. So let's go ahead and grab this one here. And we can balance the system on this case, this little box here. The person who sent us the case, it looks like they 3D printed some extra really awesome looking feet. So those will be included when they give away the PC. This is an HD 4670 1 gigabyte edition. I'm already getting ahead of myself. We need a power supply. That was my first graphics card. Now, what kind of flavor of power supply are we going to use today? Nah. Where's that little SFX power supply? Well, we'll try it, see what happens. I can't find that SFX power supply I had. Really nice EVGA one. Now, if you're ever connecting a 4-pin to an 8-pin, it will usually work, but it's not exactly ideal. We just want to make sure that this system still posts after everything I've done to it. So, survey says that I need to find that little screwdriver I had. Here we go. Ooh, it's pretty. Hey, we got like a little screen or something on here. What is that? We have a screen. Nice. All right, so we still have, that fan's bad. We still have a working system, so we can unplug this and move on to the next step. Which is, of course, getting it in the case. And obviously, no, this is not the graphics card that we will be using. This really is an absolutely beautiful case. Something is sliding around inside, though. There's some screws in there. What? There's one. That looks like the mount screw for an AM4 stock cooler. Okay. I think we're good. Let's see if we can get you a better angle to view this at. There we go. Now, like a lot of modern motherboards, the I/O shield is integrated into this system. So we can just kind of slap that in here, as long as these don't get caught on everything on the way in. And that's basically it. Let's go ahead and get this thing tied down. Ooh, hey. I found that DDR5 that I bought, so we're going to swap that out real quick before we start getting things buttoned up. I do need to get this sent back, along with that AM5 CPU. I believe it was Daniel who sent those in, and I am eternally grateful. Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate that. We're going to have to do something about these cables. Okay. There's that SFX power supply. Now recently somebody sent us this lovely thing of screws here. Oh. Is it the Don't Panic person? I don't remember. Either way, this will be very helpful today, specifically because we do want this system to look good. Now the question is, coarse thread or fine thread? Let's find out. Seems to be fine thread like a lot of modern systems. And there you have it. Nice and secure. What should we do next? We do have that SFX power supply now that I figured out where it was. Let's try to do a little cable management. Well, I think what we're going to go ahead and do is do a little bit of cable management off camera, and I'll be right back once I've got things more or less ready to go. Oh, I'm an idiot. The case came with all the screws necessary. But hey, you know what? We are just about cable managed here. Got one last thing to zip tie. This great big bundle here. And that should be that. Here's what we look like on the front. I'd hardly call it perfect, but I mean, hey, that's not bad. If we had an ATX motherboard instead of micro ATX, all these connections would be right next to the bottom, and we wouldn't have any, trailing cables, but it is what it is. Now it's time for the graphics card. We could test with his old card, but we have a Intel Arc card to test with, which is super, super exciting. It was either an A580 or a B580. I think it was an A580. I do not remember. Did I put it in here? Why, yes I did. Look at me being all safe. So here's our card. Let's see. It is an Arc A580. Okay. Still, very, very cool card. Let's finally unbox this. Or, more accurately, unwrap. Where's my scissors? Yes, here we go. This is better than my PC. And cooler. That is a nice card. Oh my god. 2 8-pins. Let's get this in. Okay, how does that come off? Like this, maybe? Oh, there we go. Okay. The sideways mount stuff I've never really messed with. Seems like it would choke the card, but, I mean, if given enough space away from the side panel, probably wouldn't be that big of a deal. This is a 2-slot card. Okay, it's a 2+ slot card with a 2-slot bracket. I cannot tell you how much I like this motherboard for the fact that it has 4 full-length PCI Express slots. They're probably not all wired for PCI Express 16, but you know what? That's still pretty damn awesome. Installed. Get this locked in place. Oh, this kid's gonna just be so happy. This is one of the coolest computers I've ever built. Okay. Oh, this is kick-ass. So we need to power this. Now, the power supply we're going to use has not really been decided. I do have a 750-watt power supply that is used. It's an old Corsair power supply. It'll work just fine, but it would be pretty cool if we could acquire something a little bit either heftier or, at the very least, newer. In the meantime, let's go ahead and grab this 550-watt SFX power supply, just because it has all the connections that we need to test this PC. For now, I'm not even going to put it in the basement. We're just going to connect it right up here. When you're using 8-pins, when you're using multiple 8-pins, it really is advisable to not use 2 8-pins on the same lead. But we're going to do that for today because we are not going to be stressing the card. We just want to make sure that it works. And this will work just fine for testing. We look good. Let's grab a couple of things. I need an adapter to go from either HDMI or DisplayPort to VGA. I thought I had one right around here somewhere. I've really got to keep better track of this stuff. Well, I don't know where it is, so today we're going to move away from the venerable mag and pick a different monitor. Something with HDMI. this have HDMI? Whoa, it's got spiders. I don't like that. Ugh. No HDMI, but it does have DisplayPort. Shoot. Suppose we have no choice. Yeah. We just want to make sure that we have a functioning system. So we'll plug this into the HDMI port on our ARC card, and this into the back of the television. Oh, this cable's a little messed up. I think it'll still work though. Okay, that's plugged in. But I can't tell if we have, there we go, okay. Now we need to power our, definitely not jank at all, system here. Will we post once I find the power button? There it is. Oh, that's pretty. Oh, that is very pretty. Which HDMI do I have this set to? Source. I'll move the cable. What am I plugged into? I'm plugged into HDMI 1. Oh, okay. I'm just stupid. Okay. Hey, that's good. Now, I don't have Windows 11 boot media, so what we are going to do at this particular moment in time is we'll go ahead and grab our iOD ST300 once I find it. And we will go ahead and install Windows 10. This system will actually have Windows 11 at some point. But, like I said, I don't have the installer for that, so we're going to go with 10 just for now, just for testing. Resurrecting all my old parts here, unburying my keyboard. Ouch. Well, whatever that was, it bit me, so that's great. Keyboard. Now, our iOD ST300 is plugged in. We will select Windows 10. We're probably going to manually select it. We're still on Windows 10, that's good. This is great. I am very excited for this kid. F11 for boot menu. Okay. Virtual CD-ROM, there we go. At this point, we should be loading into the Windows installer. So with any luck, we'll see you on the desktop. Oh, there we go. We have a functioning PC. Oh, that is cool. Now, unfortunately, we are not going to be able to play games on this right now. Mostly because I don't have drivers on it, but also because, well, we need a lot of other things to be finished on this PC before we really dig into testing its performance. I have more RAM on the way. We're going to get this up to at least 32 gigs. Now, this stuff I ordered is very slow for DDR5, but shouldn't really be a problem. This kid's currently running slow DDR4, so it's an improvement by default. The ARC card should be a lot better than the, what's he got, an RX 480, I think, right now. And we're looking at some really good hardware for him. But I also still need to get this 1TB SSD installed, which I'm not really willing to do until we have the proper power supply installed. And that's another thing that I've got to go dig it out of the computer it's currently installed in, or maybe we wait and see if someone else wants to donate a power supply for this PC, something that isn't used and full of cat hair, which the current one is. I'm allergic to cats. So, this is as far as we go for now with this PC. I'm going to set it aside where it's safe. We're going to cover it up, and we'll revisit this when we have more updates to put into this. So if you're looking to donate stuff for this PC, storage is a big concern. Not huge, but it's big. It would be nice if we had a new power supply for him instead of used. And, I mean, at this point, it's basically done. If you want to throw something at us that's better than an Intel Arc A580, that's fine, but this is a pretty good card as is. I don't think we need a graphics card upgrade. Same for RAM. It's already by default an upgrade over what he has, so if you want to send higher capacity sticks, that'd be cool, but not strictly necessary. And with that, let's move on to the next part of today's video. Let's see how many of you remember this case, this PC. This is something we picked up for $15 and got it running. Really kind of a fantastic build. It's great. It's got a dual-core Athlon in it. It's 8 gigs of RAM and whatever else we could throw inside. This system is not exactly a high-power gaming machine, but that's okay. It's just been my media center PC for, well, probably 6 months, however long it's been since I got it. I genuinely do not remember. Also, no, this is not tempered glass. It's plastic. So, fake tempered glass. Looks like we put a GTX 960 in here at some point. I'm not giving that away. I do not have a lot of higher power graphics cards, so this is sticking here. But what we're doing today is we are building a PC to give away as a general media purpose piece. I can't speak today. As a general purpose media PC. Why was that so hard to get out? I'm keeping that in. I've been having some issues with my apartment, and maintenance has been back and forth constantly fixing things. And during maintenance coming this last Friday, they finally revealed that they actually are in need of a PC. And I got a couple. So figure we'll throw something together. Maintenance is due to show back up. Ooh, this board has USB 3. That's actually pretty good. They're due to show back up on Monday to fix, we've got some broken boards on our porch, which, great. You know, we're on the 3rd floor. That'd be fun. They're due to show back up on Monday to fix that, so I think it would be pretty cool to have this computer done and ready for them to pick up on Monday, just as a complete surprise. So let's go ahead and extract this board from this case, because although this is a perfectly functioning PC right now as it is, I'm not giving them something with a broken front panel. We're going to give them something a little bit nicer. Not something expensive, but just nicer, you know? Just nicer. So let's pull some of this other stuff out. I'm still debating on whether or not we're going to reuse this power supply. We probably are. They don't need something that's powerful. They just need something functional. And here we go. Extract some of these cables. We have our motherboard, micro ATX. Nothing special, but decent. Let's set this off to the side. Whoops, I need that. SATA cable, screws, Let's get this power supply out, shall we? This was only held in by 2 screws. I must have been here before. I think that I just reused whatever screws the previous owner had used. Power supply extracted. This is a 450 watt EVGA W3. Let's get this out of the way. And now what should we use? I know what we should try. Let's try this one. This is a fun little case. They don't need a optical drive as far as I'm aware. It has USB 3, so, and these are new, like $30, so I'm not out a whole lot. The only question is, that's going to be tight. Let's try. Well, I seem to have misplaced my spare camera batteries, so we might have to cut this one fairly short. Luckily, and I did not remove it yet, here we go. Luckily, we actually have the I/O shield for this, so we can kind of make this almost look okay. So let's get this popped in real fast. This is, of course, assuming, ouch, that this will even fit. Let's give it our best shot. Ooh, not with my fingers in there. Oh boy. Oh, that is tight. Uh-oh. I'm gonna try and get these cables out from underneath the motherboard. Okay. We're in. Oh, that's not good. I dislodged the chipset cooler. Oh dear. Push it back down. It's probably fine, and there's not a whole lot I can do about that, so we're gonna just pretend that everything is fine. There we go. It's in. That is tight. Holy cow. Are we good for that? Yes, we are. Okay. Well, let's get this secured. I don't remember. I think this is fine thread, but let's find out. I'm using a coarse. Nope, that is indeed fine thread. Now, I don't care as much over if this looks super crazy good, so we're just going to grab whatever works out of our miscellaneous screw bin here. Now, this does support AM3 CPUs, so in theory, they could replace this if they wanted to with like a, I don't know, FX 6350, something like that. You don't want to go super crazy high power because it only has a 4-pin to supply the CPU with power, but it'll do the job just fine. And that's it. Motherboard is at least installed. Let's go ahead and get it all hooked up. Surprised this thing has USB 3, to be honest. Here's our front panel audio. That'll go right back in that far down corner. Oh, there's not a lot of cable management to be done here, to be honest. Where's the side panel for this? Oh, I put it down on the floor. Okay, I'm just losing my mind. Let's get the front panel connected, more or less. Okay, that's the front panel, and now we just have our 2 fans here. Now, I didn't actually check to see if we even had enough fan headers. There's one for the rear chassis fan. Oh no, we don't actually have another fan header. Huh. Oh, that sucks. what do I have to fix this situation? Okay, we technically have a solution. It's not a great solution, but both fans will work. Let's get our slightly dusty power supply in here. And of course, this time we will actually use all 4 screws. Let's go ahead and get some of this stuff connected. We will have trouble cable managing in here. I mean, look at it. Yeah. In fact, I might even have some trouble getting some of this connected. I really should do this without the RAM installed. Yeah. We do have very tall Corsair Vengeance RAM, so that'll help a lot. It's still there. Maybe with a little bend in it. Okay. 24-pin connected. 4-pin connected. Now we can start attempting to do at least some cable management. I don't know how well this is going to work. That back in place. Now let's see. We need 1 Molex for our other fan. I'm not even going to unwind this. We just need 1. And nothing else in this system uses Molex. So, this is our upper fan, which, I guess that's fine. We'll just stuff that in there. Perfect! And let's see, how big was this SSD that was already in there? 256 gigs. You know what? I think that this is fine. We're going to keep using this one. We won't tear into those new SSDs yet. But we can get it properly mounted. Oh. No, we can't. Well, maybe we can mount it down here. You see, if you don't have any fans installed in the front, you can just put your SSDs here or here. Unfortunately, we like airflow in our systems here, so we can't do that. If we can at least get that SSD connected. I don't know if we're going to be able to reuse this cable. Do we have something shorter? Do I have one of those blue Dell cables that are insanely short? No, but I do have a shorter orange cable here. This is going to be very fun, I think. Dare I say it, that's actually installed. This can go here. Done. Now for the graphics card. We could attempt onboard graphics, but this is a dual-core CPU. It needs all the help that it can get. So let's, while I ponder what we'll throw at this, let's go ahead and get the power connected for that SSD that I forgot about until just now. I think that's connected. Yeah. We're just gonna keep our VGA out. Everything else will get stuffed in the corner. Just like so. And that's how you cable manage in a case that doesn't have cable management. Brute force. Okay. I'm thinking, you see, I don't want to give something too old, like a GTX 600 series, but I don't want to give away something new, like a 10 series or newer, because I can actually use those. The 700 series I don't have a lot of that isn't like a 760 or a 770, and those are too long to fit in the case. And the 960 that we pulled out, yeah, that's not going to happen. However, someone did send us this. Where is it? Huh. Where is it? Got this piece of junk. It does have HDMI. Everything else I've got is too long to fit in the case, it looks like. Let me check one more spot. Oh, that uses mini HDMI. Nope. We're not making someone suffer with that. So let's try this HD 5550 covered in dog hair. I mean, again, this is not going to be a gaming PC. This is a media consumption PC at best. Let's slap that in. And since I still have it sitting here, we can test the HDMI. Let's see what we've got. We are running out of battery very quickly. So let's just, we're not going to need this. Put our side panel resting there. Get our HDMI. And let's see. Survey says. Survey says I should turn the TV on. Wait a minute. Hey, we work. Oh, thank goodness. Now, we will have to change our display drivers. Obviously, we're going from a GTX 960 to an HD 5550. But this will get us sound. This will get us a hardware accelerated desktop at least. And I think that they will have a very, very pleasant experience using this as a media center PC. So, I suppose we could find out if this can game. Of course, before we game, we need some drivers. So I'm using Snappy Driver Installer because I don't have internet down here. And let's see here, ATI Radeon HD 5500 series. Perfect. The rest of this, we're going to get the high definition audio device. The rest of this we will leave alone. And as soon as these are installed, let's see what it can do for games. Well, that didn't work as I hoped it would. Something's wrong with this graphics card. I don't know if it's the drivers we got from Snappy or what it is, but we got to do something else. I'm also not getting any sound out of this. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this PC up to my apartment where I do have access to the internet, run Windows Update to get the proper drivers for this, and then see if maybe that makes a difference. I hope so, because I don't have a lot of other graphics card options for this. Ooh. Well, there we have it. I'd say that is not too bad of a showing. We had some weirdness with OBS and some aspect ratio shenanigans for some unknown reason, but we can fix that later. As for the computer, it performed wonderfully. I mean, of all the ones to have some issues with, it seemed to be Unreal Tournament 2004 that I couldn't crank the details on. And of course, Battlefront 2 wasn't exactly a easy game to run, so we did have to crank the settings lower on Battlefront 2. But you know what? I'd still say that's pretty good. I mean, it's an HD 5550. It's not exactly a powerful graphics card. And it's Windows 10 on a dual-core CPU. Recording using OBS internally. So honestly, not half bad. I think they'll be very happy with it. And if you're happy with this video, a like would be appreciated. Let me know what you'd do different with this PC here, or if you think I should go in a different direction with the kids' Christmas PC. You can find all sorts of behind-the-scenes content on my Patreon, free of charge. And if you want to send stuff to help with the kids' PC or just with the channel in general, my P.O. box is listed in the description below. To anyone who has stuck around this long, I want you to go into the description below, go into the comments section, and let me know what you want to name that kid's PC. And I'll put a poll up on Patreon for free, not for paid users, for free users, and we'll pick a name for it based on your suggestions. Thanks for watching, and please consider subscribing if you want to see more stuff like this.